what are you going to do after you win? And I could never get a satisfying answer. The answer was, we don't have to worry about that. Chalabi and his friends are going to go in and be widely received and take over. And that is probably the single greatest miscalculation.
The read we get on the people of Iraq is there's no question but what they want to get rid of Saddam Hussein, and they will welcome as liberators the United States when we come to do that.
They assumed that we would be embraced and that what came next would be very simple. There was almost a childish understanding of the region.
Iraq's a dangerous place, and we've got hard work to do. There's still more to be done. And we had just come off a very successful military operation. I was there to thank the troops. The mission accomplished sign, of course, was put up by the members of the USS Abraham Lincoln, saying that their mission was accomplished. I know it was attributed somehow to some ingenious advance man for my staff. They weren't that ingenious, by the way. But my statement was a clear statement, basically recognizing that this phase of the war for Iraq was over, and there was a lot of dangerous work, and it's proved to be right. It is dangerous in Iraq.
The idea of foreign forces coming in to occupy important places, say Iraq, for example, in the heartland of the Arab world. These are things that inspire nationalism. They inspire religious resistance.
If people want to have a peaceful demonstration, I respect the right to gather. I have no problem with that. It's when they start to shoot at us and throw rocks at us that there's a problem.
And what it does is tap into a mindset in the Arab world and the Muslim world that sees Western imperialism and occupation as about the worst thing you can think of.
And someone comes to you and says, hey, Sergeant, what about, there's no more, I just read here where, this guy, this public official just said that there's no weapons of mass destruction and there's no intelligence, and hey, Sergeant, we haven't seen anything. I mean, in fact, the other unit, they sent their gas masks home the first day, or before we got here. Nobody believes there's any WMDs here anymore. Only a handful of people back in the States are still harping on that, and everybody else knows they're not here. What's the deal? Why are we here?
There's no doubt in my mind that people made honest mistakes in that set of the pieces of that intelligence that were presented at the United Nations. They certainly were not intentional, and they were clearly honest mistakes. And now, do you feel let down because something is inaccurate and imperfect? You'd be let down every day by intelligence because by its nature, it's hard to do. It's tough. And we constantly need better intelligence. If there's one thing I hear every single day from the battlefield commanders, it's they need better intelligence.
What you're seeing now is an entire military which has been told, oh yeah, the whole thing's a mistake. Sorry. But you still have to deal with it. We can't pull you out. And dealing with that psychologically in units is going to be a very difficult task for any leaders to do. They're going to feel betrayed by their leadership, that their leaders simply don't say, forget it, we're out of here. They're going to feel that they're being forcibly sent to a conflict which no longer has the rewards of defending their country so much as just doing a job which is unpopular. And also that they no longer have that generosity in them to create a new nation which welcomes them. They're no longer liberators, they're occupiers. And they're being received with a lack of grace. And in that, it's making them, I'm sure, vengeful. You know, as soon as you lose friends, your disposition changes. And it is hard to once again embrace a people who you now blame.